Hi, everybody. It's your friendly neighborhood Kyle Hudson here from the Westchester Chronicle, and I am here with the chair of the Republican Committee of Chester County, Raffi Terzian. How are you, sir?
Good, Kyle. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining me. I want to pick your brain about what's been happening with the poll book error in this year's fall election. Um, there was a hearing on the 17th where the Republican Committee of Chester County challenged over 1,100 votes. Can you walk us through that process and why you ultimately decided to withdraw a majority of those challenges and why you kept the ones that you are still challenging?
Sure, and I can even start earlier, actually, to go back to Election Day itself, which uh, it really was a debacle altogether. I mean, we learned very early in the day that day that independents and others had been left out of the poll book, and we sounded the alarm fairly early. One of the things that concerned us the most, Kyle, is that we were learning that they were allowing voters to vote in with several different methods of voting. Um, at first, they were letting folks know that they could go into the poll, sign the poll book by hand, and then they were matching that to a list that they have at the poll, and then letting people vote, and in some cases without showing any identification. Then they pivoted to this method of voting with the provisional ballot. Later, they ran out of supplies related to the provisional ballot. They need the envelopes for the ballot to go into. And they were supposed to be sending supplemental poll books to all the polling stations. That didn't happen until later in the afternoon. We got many reports and stories from voters who were very angry about how things occurred that day. Voters who were turned away, many voters who were so frustrated they never went back. So, that is sort of the context for everything that happened that day. And it's a significant concern. It remains to be a significant concern. And these are the issues actually we've been trying to address with county leadership. We actually have been trying to address issues with the county leadership going back a few years related to elections in our county. And candidly, our concerns have really not gone heard. Um, as far as the hearing on November 17th was concerned, when votes are evaluated in central scan, questions come up about deficiencies with the provisional ballots. So those questions were raised. As the hearing went on, we certainly recognized that a lot of the issues that occur with it were out of the voters' hands and were directly the county was directly responsible for the error. But by the same token, it was important, we felt, that they understand that the law should be upheld. And they actually voted 2-1 in a couple of instances to openly disregard the law entirely and allow illegal ballots to be counted. So
Can you
there's
give
been a
me
lot.
a specific example?
Sure. So, for instance, a secrecy envelope is required for your ballot. They elected to count ballots that did not have a secrecy envelope. A signature is required in an affirmation section on the provisional ballot, and that was missing in a lot of instances. And that does not align with the law either. So, go ahead.
Well, are those so I do know that there's 300 votes that you are still challenging. When I spoke with Commissioner Maxwell last week, he mentioned that that specifically was one of the reasons why they did not approve those 300 or so ballots that have not been approved. Are you talking about ballots that were approved that did not have
But no,
the
these
security?
are, I'm talking about the instances where the Board of Elections in a 2-1 vote allowed illegal ballots to be counted. So, there, I saw a lot of rhetoric out there, and frankly, very disappointed, particularly from Commissioner Maxwell, but from county government trying to somehow point the finger, deflect, misdirect people to think somehow Republicans were involved in disenfranchising voters. That couldn't be further from the truth. I want to remind everybody that we first brought this to everyone's attention. Number one, the only people responsible for disenfranchising the voters the county government who failed in their responsibility to conduct the election because of this debacle with the poll books. And what I would like to see is actually some responsibility being taken, and not just we're sorry this happened and we're going to start an investigation, because they've announced an investigation, as you know. Um, there is a certification coming up. We do not think this election can be certified on the basis of all the irregularities that occurred, notwithstanding the people who were turned away. Um, I'm guessing that the majority commissioners will still vote to certify the election, but the investigation hasn't even been conducted, and it won't be concluded before December 5th, which is the date of the certification vote. So I again, I see this the what's published in the media, and I see the posts on social media, and I just have to shake my head and say, reasonable people, I think, can certainly understand that the only people responsible for this, again, is Commissioner Maxwell, his leadership, and the organization that they oversee.
So they you talked about the investigation that they're conducting,
Yeah.
where they're hiring a third party law firm. Do you have any faith in that investigation? What are your opinions on that?
Well, I think they should have had a independent investigation outside of hiring a law firm in Westchester, and they should have involved all the parties involved. So if you're asking me whether or not I have faith, even I don't know the specific people who are going to conduct the investigation. I presume they're people of goodwill, but no, I don't have a lot of faith in that investigation. I don't have any faith that anything's going to change as a result. We've been raising issues with the county for a number of years. They have not listened. And I think people need to be held accountable. And again, a sort of tacit, apology and we're sorry this happened, et cetera, is not enough. It's not sufficient. We want to know exactly what happened, how this could have happened. And I want to stop hearing excuses from Commissioner Maxwell. I want to stop seeing the finger pointing, the misdirection, the blame shifting that's been happening. I just don't think that's right.
What steps do you think the county could take? I mean, you mentioned that you've been bringing this up for a while now. What steps do you think the county could take to prevent errors like this in the future and give you more faith in the elections here in Chester County?
Well, and by the way, I don't really speak for the Republican Party. I think what we're trying to do is this is really about all voters. Everybody should feel comfortable in the process, and election integrity matters. People should have confidence in how their elections are conducted, that they are secure and safe. And there's just been a lot of gaps that we've observed. The fact that they could vote. In open violation of the law, it should be troubling to anybody. Anybody who's a reasonable-minded person, I think, should see that and have a concern. I think that they need to be, as far as we do need to get to the bottom of this. I think that certainly needs to happen. That it would have been, I think, prudent for them to bring in all the parties involved, sort of expand the reach so that other folks could have their voices in the investigation. I don't think that's going to happen. And again, that they can certify it without the final sort of evaluation being completed, I think is problematic.
What are your expectations for the 2026 election?
Well, 2026 election is a midterm election. There's certainly a lot of interest in our county. We think there's still issues in the county that need to be addressed. Some of those issues we tried to raise this past cycle with tax increases. Now they're doing some budgeting now, and we understand that hopefully will go in a better direction. But I think there has to be more transparency. I think there has to be more accountability. I think that for elected officials like Commissioner Maxwell to be pointing fingers at the Republican Party is just atrocious. I think that what we want to see is that they are going to work towards building confidence again in the process, because we've got a county, we've got Republicans, we've got Democrats, Independents, others, everybody involved in the process should feel that they have a stake, that they have a voice. And we just continue to see instances where they are very selective about whose voice they want to listen to. Um, and hopefully, come 2026, we will begin to see some more, again, transparency, accountability, ownership for the problems. I'm gonna I'm admit a little bit cynical that that's actually going to happen.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, just that I appreciate the time. We are advocating for election. We are advocating for the law. We're advocating for fairness, and we'll continue to work for that. We are very happy to meet with anybody, anywhere, to have these conversations, and I'm grateful that you gave me the chance to do that.
Well, thank you very much for your time, sir. And if people want to reach out to you, how can they contact you?
They can reach us. The best way would probably be either on our social media through Facebook, Instagram, or X, or they can always call our office or email us at hq@republicanccc.com, or visit our website. We're happy to respond.
All right. Again, thank you for your time, sir, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You as well. Take care, Kyle.